and welcome to the Brantley Bank Coaches Show hosted by Vaughn Forest Church. We talk all things Pike Road Patriots football with head football coach Ed Rigby. My name is Adam Bishop. I serve as the lead pastor of Vaughn Forest Church and the host of our weekly Brantley Bank Coaches Show. So, Coach, great to see you again.
Pastor Adam, thank you so much for having us one more time.
Absolutely. So, big game tomorrow night. We've got our homecoming game against Russell County. I'm excited to talk about that today, Coach. But before we do, let's recap last week. Big region win over Park Crossing. And I know you saw a lot of things from that game that you liked.
Yes, a lot of things that we like, a few things we don't, penalties. And, that seems to be our thing. But hopefully we'll get some of that under wraps this week. It started off with the kickoff. DJ Williams, a 94-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. We got guys back there to do it. We've had a lot of good returns to the 40, 45, and 50. We've just not been able to break one.
Mm-hmm.
It's always one thing here, one thing there, But, it lined up just perfect. Everybody put a hat on a hat. He made a great cut. And as soon as he got moving towards the upright, he's still in the wad. I'm like, he's gone. He's gone. I mean, you can see that stuff somehow. Mm-hmm. It was parting.
The parting of the waters.
It was just, It was the Red Sea out there.
It was great.
And he opened it right up and took it 94 yards. That automatically jump shot ahead for a great start. And when you're on the receiving end of those, it's kind of demoralizing. Like, we just spotted them, a touchdown. So, they came back, made a great drive.
They did. They answered well to that.
They answered well, and they went down and obviously scored and went for two, got ahead of us. And methodically, we got back into it. Some of the things that we had, worked on in the off weeks, going under, running stretch and stuff that I mentioned we were doing, just didn't get into details. We kind of broke out the other night and had, generated a lot of offense with it. Of course, Caleb Foster, our quarterback, went 5 for 6, had a touchdown pass and a rushing touchdown. Anthony had 8 carries, and this was all in the first half. 8 carries for 200 yards and 4 touchdowns in the first half. That's always really, really good when you can do it in a half. And again, some of that was off of some of the new stuff that we were doing. Brandon Tormey had a touchdown catch down there on a little boot pass and did a little tiptoe, a little ballet around the cone there, the piling to get in. And Adrian Thornton had a rushing touchdown, also AT. And it was kind of a punch it in. It was a play we'd given him earlier, and he ran a little wide on and kind of missed it. And we told him, hey, look, we're going to come right back and play with it. Hit it tight, you'll pop right through, and he did. Boom. It was perfect and did a great job. Defensive highlights, Cody Markham was our leading tackle the other night with 8 tackles. And Cody, he'll play tomorrow night. He's actually been gone all week.
Okay.
He got invited to a baseball showcase down in West Palm Beach.
Okay.
And it's where, and my understanding of everything, about it, it is where they bring in, it's a bunch of juniors and brought them in, and they were worked out by major league folks the whole time.
Wow.
Home run contest. It's a big deal. It's the kind of thing you can't pass up because obviously you're on their radar to be invited to this, and that radar makes millions of dollars a year if you're that guy.
Yeah.
And like I told him, when he first started, I'm like, dude, you got to do it. Football, schmootball. This could be a life changer. It could set you up from some stuff. So he'll play a lot tomorrow night. Just won't start obviously, but he was doing physical stuff down there. It wasn't like he was laying out and just not being practiced. So we'll get him back in. JT Hales had 6 tackles from secondary. That's the highlight. His best performance of his life right there. Really, and he's one of those kids, JT, who is there every day. Every day. He's always there, never a problem, just quiet. You never hear, because JT, there you are, JT. He never brings attention to himself. I'm so glad for him to have such a big game.
That's great.
And 6 tackles from the secondary position's a lot. Powell had 2 tackles for loss. Anytime you're tackling behind the line, we ended up with, I think it was, 8 total tackles for loss team-wise. But, Trey Cavers had 2 big interceptions, 2 big ones. Marion Robinson had a big one that we thought was going to run it back. We have given him the hardest time. Dude, why didn't you score? Why didn't you score? The kids do, And but it was a great run. He returned it over 50 yards and shedding tackles and trying to get in there. But football's a game of giveaways and takeaways. First time, I'd really ever thought about it was around 2000, looking at Bear Bryant's book that he'd written back like early 80s. It was written. He didn't write it. Somebody wrote it, obviously, but it was a book on him. And like he said, the only the only stat in football that matters is giveaways and takeaways.
He's right.
Everything else is just for statistical purposes of the game.
Right.
It's about those giveaways and takeaways because those determine the outcome of the game. And, he was the one who said, hey, you play 65 to 68 plays a game. When it comes down to 2 or 3, determine the outcome, the true outcome of a game.
Right.
And because there's those break moments in football, those moments when the other team flinches, and a lot of times you can go back and see it, that was the turning point. That happened. And he was right. And so we won the giveaways and takeaways. We held on to the football, and we were able to take the ball from them, and that obviously brought us to the 58-8 outcome, 52-8 outcome. I'm trying to make sure I didn't miss anybody. Stephon and Mac both had a sack in the game where they were blitzed, and they were huge because one of them, Mac, created a turnover, on the option play, and that was another, one of those plays that defines the outcome of the ball game. We were able to flip and score in 2 plays. Boom, it's over with. And it was a good win because of where it brought us in the region. It's 4 wins in a row, 3-0 in the region. And how this lays out is we win tomorrow night, we're locked in the playoffs, period. Worst we can be is 3rd place. That's the top 4 go. The worst we can be is 3rd. All right, then not looking forward, you win the next week, then you're at worst you're going to be is 1 or 2. You're automatically going to have a home playoff game.
Right.
And in the playoffs, home field advantage that first round is the most important thing of the whole deal. That and having home field in the semifinals are the 2 most important pieces of that puzzle to get it going on the right foot. But this is a big game because on the flip side, tomorrow night, that gave us 3-0 in the region. If we win tomorrow night, we go out there, produce, we do what we're supposed to do. It's homecoming. We'll talk about that more in a minute. But we do what we're supposed to do. That puts us to, again, that guaranteed 3rd place. No matter what, you're going to playoffs, boys.
Right.
You've made it to week 11. Now let's get better than that. So, for them, it's the flip side. To be able to have a chance, to stay in it, to possibly have a chance, they must win. It's a must-win for them. They're against the wall, So it's going to be a big game. We have Russell County coming in. Dylan Griggs, their head coach. I gave him his first job. Similar to Jarrell, we have a pass. And he's done a phenomenal job there. They've ran on a kind of a stretch. They're 1-5 right now. But here's what you have. You have 1-5 teams that are bad football teams. You have 1-5 teams that aren't bad teams. They've just not had the breaks along the way, and that's what they are. They've ran into a stretch of having some key players injured and out. They have a running back that's got, Power 5 offers, didn't play in the last game. They started a freshman the whole game. But that running back may be back tomorrow night against us, I have no direct line to, I've not tried. I guess I could find if I really wanted to, but have not tried to find anything about this. You might think, well, that's poor coach. Well, no, we want your best. We're preparing for the best that you possibly could give us. So, their quarterback kind of may have gotten injured there at the end of the game last week. That's the word, their starter. And but they're defensively, they're super sound. Their front 4, they run what I would call a true 4-3, the way they adjust and stuff. Their front 4 has great size. There's those 230 to 260 guys that have a very good thump off the ball. They run their feet on contact. They get to the ball well. A couple of their linebackers feel really, really well. But defense is definitely their strong point. And again, me and Dylan go way, way back. And, he's done a phenomenal job there. This is a school, Russell County, who when he was interviewing for the job, I talked to their superintendent a couple times. Great lady. And she's like, I want somebody that will build an actual football program. Build a program. And he comes in between getting hired like January, February-ish, whatever it was, to when they played his first game, which was last year as the head coach. They turfed their field. They got a Jumbotron.
Wow.
Not one of those things was in the works before that guy got that job.
Wow.
He went out and hustled. Anytime I talked to him, what are you doing? Oh, I'm running in so-and-so, talk to a business owner, trying to get money, towards the Jumbotron, trying to get this. Since then, they've redone the old cinder track, the old cinder. Now it's that high-tech rubber, beautiful, beautiful track, revamped. They're looking at, I know they've got their plans and everything in place to put in an indoor. Everything's going in the right direction. They just had, a run of bad luck of these injuries, and it's a bug. When it rains, it pours.
Yeah.
So who knows who they'll show up with tomorrow night. I'm taking they're going to show up with everybody, and that's the way we've coached, the best that they have to give. And if they go out there and we let them get on, then we're going to have a dogfight on our hands, because they do have players. They have number. They're extremely well coached. He's from the start to now, he's brought in a lot of great coaches who have a lot of experience at higher level coaching. And they're when you watch them on film, you're like, man, this isn't a bad team. What's going on?
Sometimes that record can be deceiving.
Super deceiving.
Yeah, you got a hungry team coming in. They know that this is their season.
This is it.
And you're describing a 4-3 defense with big, athletic,
strong,
defensive linemen,
guys that will hit you. And I'm telling you, this isn't some pushover. This isn't some homecoming cupcake. And when we when I got there and they're like, here's the schedule, pick how you want things, I picked it that way on purpose. Number one, senior night will be our last home game against Booker T at the end of the year. But the thing about them is I picked that one out of not picking Park Crossing off of my thing's always been about homecoming, and you got all the festivities of homecoming. Mm-hmm. But when it comes down to it, the head of the week festivities, the dress-ups and all that, the parade tomorrow, which, like I say, we'll kind of go over. I'll tell you what I know, and I'll make up what I don't. And but the head of it is 7 o'clock Friday night.
Right.
And then at halftime, you have a crowning. But when that's over with, it's about that game. Yes. What happened in that game. The people, everybody comes to the head of it. That's that game at 7 o'clock. And so I always try to pick somebody like that where it's going to be a pivotal, important game for the fact, the guys have a little more stake in it, that don't get sidetracked with all the rolling and putting flour on people's cars and all that kind of stuff. Keep the main thing, the show at 7 o'clock, because you're going to be the show at 7. It's all going to be there. I expect the weather's going to be perfect.
Yeah.
I expect we had a great crowd the other night. And Park Crossing brought more people than I thought they would, being close. But I expect the biggest crowd of the year tomorrow night. Not with Tumpka, not these other games. Tomorrow night, I expect it, because it is homecoming. Mm-hmm. And even though we don't have the tradition of 50 years of history and 75 years of history, all right, here's a graduating class of 1954. We don't have that, but we have community, right? That Pike Road community. So, and we have more seats now. People are able to come, actually enjoy the game, not have to worry about standing. The way they restructured the parking or the coming into it was a lot smoother the other night, they said.
I was in it. It was a lot smoother, Coach.
Yeah,
great adjustment there.
Yeah, so real quickly, for those listening, because I don't know what's out beyond, because what was different about it? How did you come in? How was it?
Yeah, so typically in the past, they had the entrance that most folks are used to turning left onto to get down to the school. They had that closed, and you had to go all the way down and make that sharp turn and come back by the football field on the right. They just flipped that.
Okay.
So now you're taking the turn you're used to and then exiting the other way, and there's just a lot more parking options there.
Yes.
You can park there in those parking lots by the church. You can get down to the school. So there's more parking options on your way to actually get to the field, and everything moved really smooth, Coach.
That's what everyone said that I've talked to, from my wife here. Hey, it was just so much smoother coming in this way. So that was, something the sheriff's department them come up with to kind of, and that made things better, obviously. And so there'll be plenty of places to park. There'll be plenty of places to sit now. The student section down there was phenomenal. That was awesome.
They did a great job.
That was awesome. And
it freed up a lot of seats where they used to sit.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
As I turned around and looked up real quick, this is when we were flipping first and second quarter. I was walking back. These were the older folks, the more of the fan. The students were all down there. And that, again, like you said, freed up a lot of spots. So I expect we still have a lot of free spots, down in that because of that end. So I expect a huge crowd tomorrow night. Big crowd. But, we got a lot on the line. Our kids, we've had a good week of practice. We're healed up. We still have a few guys that'll be out. We'll be missing a few. We'll be a little thin in some spots. But, hey, it's going to be next guy up. We got a couple younger kids that have showed out in JV. One of them's actually going to get a start tomorrow night, and I won't say where, but he's going to get a start. JV at middle school. This last Monday, we went over to Booker T, and middle school, One, I believe it was 21-0 or 28-0. It got fuzzy there at the end because I went to go get their snacks lined up and didn't see the actual very end. Then JV, we got in shootout. It was like the Pac-12, late night with the Pac-12. Man, it was we got down 16-0. In the first minute and a half of the game.
Oh wow!
They score on first play. We fumble second snap. Boom. We're down. And I'm like, okay, we've not been here. Let's see what happens. Next thing you know, it's 7-16. Or it was 14-14 because they went for 2 one time and missed it. 7-14. Then it's 14-14. Then it's 21-14. And then, it's game on. And halftime score was like 35-30. And then we're like, holy cow, man, this is exciting. And as long as we score last, we're fine. Yeah. We get the ball. Then we came back the second half. They only snapped the ball 6 times, 3 in the third quarter, 3 in the fourth. We literally held the ball the whole quarter, went down and scored right before the half. Then we come back and they ran 3 plays. We get the ball right back. We held it the whole fourth quarter, went down and scored. And so it was awesome game, but big win. Our games for months, Monday, the team we were playing canceled on us, middle school and JV, and not naming names, that don't matter. I mean, it is what it is. And so JV ended up 5-0, middle school regular season 5-0, but middle school will come back with a playoff the next Monday. We'll start their playoffs. It's a 14 playoff thing, but we will have a home game because we are undefeated and the number 1 seed. And we win that one. The next one will be at home also.
Awesome.
Because we're the highest seed all the way through. So both of them great seasons, great years. We have a lot of development with our younger kids in the JV. And there's a lot of promise with them, especially on our offensive line. Mike Adkins, who's coached for 20 years, our O-line coach, like I said, it's the best junior varsity offensive line he's ever had.
That's great.
And we were able early in the year, and some people didn't understand this. When we first started putting on shoulder pads like first day, we would go 1s on 1s 5 plays, 2s on 2s 5 plays, which is our JV. 1s on 1s, and we then it would become after 2 weeks, 8 plays, 8 and 5, 8 and 5, all the way through. And they're always getting live, real reps of our stuff, doing our thing, not just here's the scout cards, get after it, good luck. We've and Josh Clark being the head of our JV, who's our wide receiver coach of varsity, is really, really serious about him. And Jake Nager is our middle school coach. These 2 guys are in competition with each other. With, the other night we get back and, he's calling Jake, like, Jake, hey, you only scored this many points. We scored this many. There's a lot of rumor, they've stopped talking about Harson on the blogs. It's about you now. You're 5-0, but you're on the hot seat. You didn't score the points we did. Them 2 guys compete. And that's what you want with your young coaches. Yeah. You want them competing. Actually caring about the outcome, not just let's go field the team, get a paycheck, go home, hurry up and get out of here. They're not those guys. Right. We don't have those guys. And so we've had a great season, a lot to build on. We're dressing all of our 9th up. Normally they do not dress, but everybody's getting to dress tomorrow night.
Oh, that's great.
And so we'll have a lot more bodies on the sideline, and just kind of to end their season, with getting to dress with us, because a few of those still dress on varsity. There's 4 of them actually who do. But the other, we got about 28 of them. The other 24 usually don't get to dress because obviously we don't have space. And but it's a home game, so we're going to get to do it before they put their stuff up. And so we're excited. So tomorrow's homecoming. All right. Our deal, and it kind of will fall into the school's deal. We'll practice at our normal time. We're out of school tomorrow, for those who don't know. We have fall break. Teacher stuff to be there. But we have fall break tomorrow, Monday, and Tuesday. Okay? So tomorrow morning, 7:50, just like when the bell rings normal, our guys are there. We go out in cleats and shimmels and shorts, and we'll go out and do all of our normal stuff like a normal Friday. We're in school. No different. Then as we get done, we'll end up rolling out, stretch. We'll get them into 3 groups, static stretch, band stretch, a little soft tissue work. As soon as we're done with that, we're going to head over. We normally don't do this. We would dress and go to class. But the cafeteria, we've got them. They do what's called a country breakfast on Friday, like biscuits and gravy.
Come on
sausage.
now.
No.
That's good stuff.
It's good.
Yeah.
All the kids eat this thing.
I might show up for that, Coach.
Look,
that sounds good.
Eat this. Well, line it up with them, and Darren and them, who's over, all the cafeteria system for our school system. We're going to pay and feed the team.
That's great.
So we're going to go over there, boom, then we're going to come right back. get a jersey on. And we're going to go get on a couple buses and go down to Public. So somewhere down there, and maybe a little bit off, like the town hall or something, where the parade's going to start.
That's right.
We'll kind of be by the front, but we'll parade it down to the school. Boom, 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 boom. Now, once we get down there, we'll go in the stadium, and it's only about 20 minutes. It's a little fire up pep rally type thing at the stadium. They'll crown the homecoming king. All right, then our players will go home for the day. We'll obviously hang around. The coaches, we got to be there, and but they'll report back at 4. Normally, to get out of class at 3, we feed them whatever. Hey, eat before you come. We fed you bread, but eat before you come, and they will. But at 4 o'clock, if you look at our thing, it's just like picking up where we would be
normal
4.
Schedule.
Normal.
Right.
FCA devotions at 4. As soon as that's done, we go into indie meetings, 4 corners at 5:10, dress at 5:25, soft dress, tape, blah, blah, blah. It'll pick up just like we were in school all day. So they will have freedom, during the day to kind of be away. Then we'll come back, Sunday night and do our normal thing, which is just lift, film, walk through. Then we'll practice. Anytime we're off out of school, I practice I practice in the morning like it's summer. So, or class 7:50, they're on the field in helmets. Monday practice. Tuesday, we're in shells. Doing our exact Tuesday practice. Right. But in the morning, and I found, they have a lot more free time. Well, number one, it keeps them on a get up schedule.
Exactly.
They don't stay up all night.
Yeah.
Number two, they have the rest of the day free. To do stuff. They have the evening free, that kind of thing. So I've always found that works better. Just keep them on that get up schedule. Yeah. So that's kind of our plan for the next few days. And, that plan is obviously, to go out there and beat Russell County tomorrow night. But we've had a good week of practice. New stuff. We've just got 1 or 2 tweaks offensively. We're always looking to expand our passing, obviously. And alleviate penalties. The penalties are what's getting us. And we talk about this all the time. It's what can separate us from being great and good. We're really, really good right now. But if we're going to be great, we have to have the hidden yards of this game. And the hidden yards are the offsides and these type things, and the whole, and penalties are going to happen in a game. 2 or 3, but not 8 or 9.
Right.
There's a difference. And we coach it all the time. We're on it all the time. And I've tried over the years everything. We're going to run them. We're going to do something. None of that stuff ever changed anything. It's only when they really realize, hey, if my hand is here, it's whole. I got to get my hands inside. It's rather to lose the block than give us minus 15.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? These type things. And there's always a few in the game where I watch the film and go, I don't see that.
Right.
There's always those too, but those are humans out there. You don't see me yelling at the officials and all that. I mean, I'm, about that stuff. Early in my career I did, but, it doesn't do any good. I mean, everybody's human. You get them mad at you.
Yeah, it happens.
So it's just, just be quiet and move on, and question when you need to, but move on. But that's one thing we need to see improvement on tomorrow night. And obviously, no turnovers, 0 turnovers. Last week proved 0 turnovers. It changes the whole outcome of your game and force some turnovers. I think they'll throw the ball some on us. So when they put it in the air, they're it's back to Bear Bryant. There's 3 things that happen. 2 of them are bad. And let's make one of those 2 bad things happen out there. But we're coming into it again with a couple guys out that will be out. We'll be thin in just a couple spots. But again, we're looking at some of them guys who just got done playing 5 JV games, and we saw improvement on to step into a few spots and take some reps tomorrow night and give us depth moving forward into the crunch time of this season. And so we're excited. I mean, again, the kids have done a good job, and they seem to be pretty locked in. I see their vehicles. When I was out there this morning, and saw a few vehicles coming up. That it was the old where you're TP'd and they put like flour on it and then wet it. And so I'm like, y'all may want to go get that off.
Yeah.
And
get that cleaned up.
Get that cleaned up a little bit here. Here's a hose, pull around it, spray all that off. But hopefully they get their butts in better. There's a dance tonight. Most of our guys won't go. Like I told them, let's start at the top. We got a game. It's about us. But I'm obviously not going to stop you from doing something like that because it's over at like 9.
Right.
And stop you from doing that. But what I am going to stop you from is embarrassing yourself because you can't dance and you're horrible. I've seen y'all. And there's one or two of y'all. Y'all should probably go. The rest of y'all, make sure to stay at the house.
That's great.
Because people will be videoing.
That's right.
And but there is something tonight. But most of our kids won't go. That's just not them. And but anyway, it's homecoming.
Absolutely.
There's been a lot of distractions all week.
Yeah.
But 7:00 tomorrow night, it's a show, and we plan to put on a show. We plan. I mean, it gets us where we want. We've talked about week 11 since the first day we've stepped in here.
Yeah.
That gets you to week 11. That win.
Yeah.
So, hey. This is the most important. I tell them all the time, this is the most important game in your life, Friday, that you've ever played, because it's the next game in your life.
That's right.
It's the only one you got. Nothing else going to be guaranteed beyond this. No telling what happens in the game. But bottom line is, this is the Super Bowl Friday night for us. It's not homecoming. Well, it is, but it's the homecoming Super Bowl.
That's awesome.
Is the way we're looking at it, and our kids get that. They get that. So long story short, 7:00 tomorrow night. Plenty of seats. Beautiful weather. We're going to crown a homecoming queen at halftime, and that's always a big thing. Going to have a beautiful court out there, and a lot of parents spend a lot of money on some beautiful dresses, I'm sure. And we obviously won't see it. But hey, when the game is over, by the way, let me just throw this out there. If you come to the game, don't leave when the game is over. And this is why. Our band, Darby and them do an unbelievable job. Our band is going to actually perform after the game. Okay. So with that being said, because the crowning takes up time and all that, they're going to perform afterwards. So I know we are going to go up in the bleachers. We're going to go up in the bleachers, sit down, sit with your family, sit with whoever, Sally Sue, as I say it all the time, whoever it is, have a seat. We're not doing the alma mater right when we're done because they'll be lined up ready to go. We're going to go up in the bleachers. Thank people for coming and enjoy our band because we never see them. We never see them. So this will be an opportunity to hats off to them and the hard work that they do. Because, again, I can remember stopping by there one day. They were out there, it was about 11 or 12, and it was one of those days, preschool, when they were doing camp. And I know for a fact on my heat thing, it was like 101
right
on my heat index. And they're out there getting after it. It takes time, it takes work, and it takes mental toughness to hold that tuba, them drums, all that stuff draped on you out there in the heat.
Yeah.
In the heat.
Wow.
It takes mental toughness. And it's something that I think is very necessary. It's part of the whole part of the school. And everybody's not an athlete. Some people are musicians. Some people are math. Some people, everybody. God's given us all some kind of gift.
That's right.
And that's a gift that I love and I enjoy. And so we're going to go up there and give them their due, watching them.
Coach, I love that.
Enjoying it.
That's a great way to support the band.
So don't, if you are there, don't run off. Stay 10 more minutes and everything, and let's cheer them on.
Awesome. Well, Patriot Nation, you heard it from Coach. It's going to be a fun day tomorrow. We got the homecoming parade, but it all really moves towards 7:00 tomorrow night.
7:00.
You need to go ahead and get your tickets now. I can tell you right now, despite the new parking path, all the new seats, Coach, when kickoff happened, that stadium, there weren't a seat to be found anywhere around me. So you need to get there because there's going to be more people there tomorrow night, more people dressing out, homecoming court. Get there early, get your seats. Let's welcome the Patriots onto the field. If for whatever reason you can't be there, you can still tune in on our Pike Road Live YouTube channel. But we want to see Patriot Nation show out, support these guys. Big game. Win guarantees us a spot in the playoffs.
Bingo.
So let's get out there tomorrow night and support our Patriots. So, Coach, thanks again for another Coach's Show.
Thank you, my brother.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, sir. Go Patriots.
Go Patriots.